Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. If you're a tenant, you're going to want to pay attention to this. So I'm Michael Keogh from Team Keogh at Remax here in Barrie, and we help people buy and sell real estate in and around the Simcoe County area. So please hit the subscription button down below if you'd like to stay up to date on all local and Simcoe County real estate, and hit that bell down below so you won't miss a single video. Remember also, please click the like button if the information I provided you has been beneficial at all. And by you clicking that like button, this is one thing that can be done so that the people that truly need this information can get it. So renoviction, Mike, what is that? So it's a term that's being used to describe when a landlord cites the need for major renovations as a reason to evict a tenant. So while most Canadian jurisdictions have rules in place to protect the tenant, such as limiting the types of repairs that would justify renters to have to move out, or specifically how much notice is required by the landlord to give to the tenants. Now, tenant advocates are saying that this practice happens quite regularly. And so for an example, a recent report from the Ontario Advocacy Centre for Tenants, ACTO, found there's been a 294% increase in landlord applications to evict tenants for renovations or conversions. And this is something that's happening more and more often. So they also said that seeing an increase in owner use evictions as well, where a landlord claims to need the property back for themselves or for a family member, and that's something that's happening when they're actually not moving in at all. Both these practices are on the rise. So average rents have increased 10.5% in Canada, and in cities like Vancouver and Toronto, that's 10.5% over the last year, and in Toronto and Vancouver, the larger cities, 24% in the past 12 months. So interesting situation in Vancouver. Tenants building was sold and the new owner wanted to evict all of the tenants. Now BC law requires that landlords give a tenants 1 month's rent. Well, in this particular case, it worked out not too bad for the tenant because they gave all of the tenants 6 months rent to have them move out and save them a lot of hassle. But however, the interesting thing is that same unit, after they did the renovations, came back on at $1,000 more per month. So if you're that tenant, now all of a sudden, if you're going to stay in the same building, yes, you got 6 months worth of rent, but now you're going to pay $1,000 more a month. And market rent will be higher as well. So in Ontario, there's a new provincial proposal actually that if a landlord wants to evict a tenant to use a unit themselves, they have to tell the landlord and tenant board if they've done this before. This is interesting because that's to help adjudicators look for patterns, right? So if this is something a landlord's been doing continuously, this is something that the adjudicators want to know because the landlord obviously is breaking the law. So in addition, when tenants are evicted for reasons beyond their control, most landlords must offer compensation of some kind or another. So landlords who evict tenants for repairs or renovations must allow the tenants an opportunity in Ontario to move back in at the same rent before offering the units to others. So the increased rent, they have to offer it back to the previous tenant at the new rental rate. So if not, landlords can be ordered to compensate the tenant as well for that. So under current rules, a landlord can be ordered to pay the difference between the former and the new rent that the tenant has after they've moved out for up to 1 year. But under the proposed new rules, tenants could file a claim to increase that compensation in addition, an additional full year's rent up to a maximum of $35,000. So it does protect the tenant, right? But the tenant has to be aware of these things. So some of the smaller landlords are getting out of the rental market because of this and taking properties back and using them as owner-occupied units. So landlords are looking at increased costs, increased carrying costs from, if you've been, for an example, in your unit for 7 or 8 or 9 years, rental increases have only been at cost of living where, we all know the cost of water, we all know the cost of electricity, and everything has skyrocketed, and the landlords are trying to think of ways to recoup some of this difference. So if your rent is all in or all inclusive of heat, hydro, and water, you got a pretty darn good deal. So landlords are looking more and more how they can alleviate or how they can recoup some of those costs. So what do you do about all that? Seek legal advice. If someone comes to you, if your landlord comes to you with a notice that you have to move out, don't sign anything. Don't sign anything until you've reached out and got some legal counsel, and they will give you good direction because you do have rights. Anyway, guys, hope that helps out a little bit if you're a tenant or in a situation where maybe that is happening. And if you'd like to book a call with me, you can do so right down below in the description, just a few clicks, and then you can set up a time that's most convenient for you that we can have a call. Anyway, guys, enjoy your day.